Dragon Quest III was originally released for the NES back in the 80s, but now it's getting a fresh coat of paint for a brand new audience. Thanks to Square-Enix, I was given the opportunity to try a hands-on demo of the new Dragon Quest III HD-2D remake, and as someone who's new to the series, I was really excited to see what this new entry of a long-running and legendary franchise is all about. This game uses Square-Enix's iconic HD-2D style, kinda like what you saw in Octopath, which blends traditional 2D pixel art with high-fidelity 3D environments and lighting, and I cannot overstate just how beautiful this style is. The demo I played took place right at the beginning of the game, and almost immediately there's this massive shot of a scenic waterfall, and while I normally love this HD 2D style already, this shot alone was enough to sell me on the game. The environments you explore are varied, but they all feel like they're part of a full-fledged 3D world despite being the backdrop to primarily 2D art, and if anything, this adds a certain charm to every area you explore, in a way that only a game in this style can capture. The environments themselves are actually super detailed, and the stylized lighting and modern engine really makes everything has this sheen that gives the world a regal feel, firmly reinforcing the Renaissance-like fantasy tone that the series is known for. Of course, given that the environments are 3D, you've got all the extra bells and whistles that come with that too, including particle effects that linger in the open air, and dynamic lighting and shadows, which are even affected by the 2D characters themselves. Speaking of environments, this is as RPG as RPGs get, and if you're a fan of kind of an old-school style of exploring locales that you can visit from a wider big world map, you'll feel right at home with this game's pretty expansive map, at least from what I played in the demo. And littered around the various towns and dungeons are NPCs that, at least in my experience, for the most part seem to have full voice acting. The voice performances were over the top, but in a really charming way that felt right at home in this game's setting. But now let's talk about some of the real meat, the combat. Keep in mind, I've always wanted to play Dragon Quest, but this hands-on demo was my first real experience with the series apart from a few hours in the Minecraft-esque Builders spin-offs. When you initiate a battle, you're taken to a separate arena that matches the overworld environment, and there you see what looks like a fairly standard turn-based RPG format. Your party in 2D against the mob of monsters that you're up against. After you select the action that you want to take, including standard attacks, spells, and using items, the game switches to a more classic Dragon Quest first-person perspective as each action is executed. In this demo, I had access to a handful of spells from different classes, and as a Final Fantasy fan, it was kind of fun to look at how different the setting and tone here is, while still being able to quickly feel out exactly how to learn the best tactics to take out the mobs. One quirk that I expected to be an issue though was the combat speed. By default, these fights feel like they move really slowly, but I quickly learned that there is a built-in option to adjust the battle speed. This not only increases the pace of the battles, but even the animation speed of everything from the enemy's default stance to the attacks and magical abilities that are fired from my side of the screen. Hopefully, if there's any need for grinding in the late game, these options will make it a much speedier process, though I wish there was still a way to speed it up without speeding up the animations because they're actually really nice. I wanted to give this preview a bit of structure, but there are a couple of little things that I noticed in the demo that I played and I found them super charming. First off, your party members follow you around outside the battle, but if the party member is defeated, they remain out of commission until you can heal them at a church. However, this has the hilarious side effect of their overworld sprites being completely replaced by a coffin that you just drag around like it's a normal character. My favorite part of the demo, though, was the opening section. The game opens with this little questionnaire followed by the semi-guided tutorial dungeon area. At the end of it, the game seemingly judges you based on your answers and how well you followed the directions in the dungeon, and let me just say that this game, did not have the kindest words for me. I don't want to get too specific here because it was a really fun magical moment that I think everyone should get to experience for themselves, but I'd love to know how many different outcomes there could have been to that questionnaire, and I can't wait to get my hands on the full game so I can just continually retry it to see if there are different results. This was just a short preview of the game, but I really found myself absolutely dazzled by the game's charm. Unlike the fantasy RPGs I'm used to playing, at least the more modern ones, this Dragon Quest III remake feels like it's more focused on being fun and charming above anything else, and I see that as a huge selling point, at least for somebody like me. Of course, I don't know all the story details or how the tone might shift beyond what I experienced, but I can say that what I did see was something that I think anyone can enjoy if they have at least a little bit of interest in the genre. The game feels very approachable and spirited in a unique way that a lot of games really haven't captured lately. And of course, I have to once again emphasize just how pretty this game is. The environments are just super detailed in a way that makes the pixel art come to life. Outside areas can be beautiful and expansive and majestic, while interiors like shops and taverns felt lively and detailed. Plus, with the addition of great voice acting, the game feels like it's gonna be really special when it fully releases, and I can't wait to make this my first official playthrough of a Dragon Quest title. I want to thank Square Enix once again for giving me the opportunity to try this game out, along with just being incredibly pleasant pleasant overall. I hope you enjoyed this little preview of what's to come, and if you liked this, please consider subscribing to the channel. I plan on doing a lot more stuff like this, and you may even see some of it come out very soon. And before I go, I just want to thank my supporters, including That's Ash and me, Gigo, in the Played Every Game tier, along with all these wonderful people you see on your screen. And of course, I appreciate you, person watching. Thanks for all the support, and as always, have a fantastic day.